I get a lot of people looking to invest in property in Cincinnati, Ohio, especially people coming from places like California, New York, Florida. You know, places where the purchase price is very high and it's really hard to get positive returns on their investments because they have to pay so much to acquire the property. Cincinnati is a real hot spot for investors because the property values are amongst the lowest in the country, so it leaves you more space a lot of times after the purchase to see some profitable returns. So whether you're an out-of-town investor and you might have Cincinnati on your radar, or maybe you're an investor who already lives here and you just want to acquire something here, stick around to the end of this video. This is some valuable stuff. We're getting into it right now. What's up, it's Victor Pham, your Cincinnati realtor. If you're new here on this channel, we talk about all things Cincinnati, all things real estate. So if you want to know what it's like to live, work, eat, play, and chill in Cincinnati and the Cincinnati suburbs, make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell. That way you don't miss any new videos the moment they come out. I'm getting calls, texts, emails, messages, and reach outs all the time from people finding me right here on YouTube. People interested in getting more information on moving to Cincinnati, and I absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about buying or selling a property in Cincy or any of the suburbs around Cincy, feel free to reach out to me. I'm sure I can help you with that. And remember, when it comes to houses in Cincinnati, you can always call Vic. So for investors out of town, generally, I get a lot of reach outs about single families, 2 families, 3 families, and 4 family buildings. Although I do help investors with commercial apartments as well, 5 units, 8 units, 15 units, whatever, but the 1 to 4 units get the most traffic. And I think it's because honestly there's a lower barrier of entry on those. Anything from 1 to 4 units, the lender is going to qualify you based on your personal credit and income. And the down payments are typically a lot smaller on those. So it is the most attractive, especially for the first time investors just trying to get their foot in the door. They'll go with a single family or sometimes a duplex just to get in the game. Once you try to purchase a 5 unit or higher, it's a completely different set of qualifications. The lender will be focused more on what income the property generates and not so much on your personal qualifications. But residential 1 to 4 units are the most popular. A lot of new investors who plan on living here will just buy a duplex or a 2-unit building, live on one side and rent the other side, also called house hacking. I helped a gentleman not too long ago sell a 4-unit building that he was living in for about $200,000. Then he turned around and bought another multifamily that's worth well over $300,000 by now. So he's just continually upgrading the building he lives in and charges rent to the other tenants and basically lives rent free. And he lets his tenants pay off his mortgage for him and build his equity.
That sounds good.
It's a really creative way to maximize your income and build equity at the same time. The out-of-town buyers will typically just hire a property manager and let them manage the property for them because they don't actually plan on living here. But that's typically the most common is those 1 to 4 units. Another common investing strategy, and this one has been getting more popular as the city of Cincinnati is becoming more popular in recent years, and that's Airbnbs. So if you can get an Airbnb going anywhere within close proximity of the city, you can do pretty well. I know some people that are currently crushing it with Airbnbs, and the closer you can get to the downtown area, the more you can charge, because when people travel to Cincinnati, they obviously want to be as close to all the action as they can get. Downtown, uptown, anything close to the river, you're going to have all your museums, sports stadiums, all the best food and all the best events going on, and you can really crank up those rates on those Airbnbs if there's a big event coming to town, like somebody really famous having a concert, festival, or one of the sports teams we have are in the playoffs.
Show me the money! Show me the money!
You can just crush it, and there's always something happening when the weather is nice here in Cincinnati. So you can do well with a nice Airbnb in a convenient location. Another method is fix and flipping, which really exploded at the beginning of the pandemic when the demand was super high and the supply was super low. If you're an out-of-town flipper, I would definitely suggest having someone that lives here help you with the project. I mean, there's just so many elements that go into a flip, dealing with contractors and specialists, all kinds of stuff. It would do you a great justice to have someone here that you trust that can ensure that what needs to be done actually gets done. Other than that, fix and flipping is generally more saturated with people who actually live somewhere near Cincinnati. That way they can check on their projects. And like I said, the other method is commercial properties. This can be a 5-unit or more apartment buildings or office fronts, warehouses, etc. I don't typically get clients who are looking for office fronts or strip malls and stuff like that. Residentially occupied buildings are more my specialty, but I have helped people with commercial apartment buildings, 8 units, 12 units, stuff like that. But the commercial apartment space is a little tougher. Generally, it's for a more experienced investor. It usually requires a lot more capital to get in, meaning a higher down payment. You got more tenants to deal with, more responsibility for your property manager. It just gets bigger in general, but the profits can get bigger as well. So these are some of the most common methods that people are using here in Cincy. Compared to the West Coast and the East Coast and a lot of the southern states, you're getting much cheaper purchase prices here. So you have that potential to do really well no matter what method you choose, as long as you buy at a good price and in the right area. So I hope that helps if you're an investor or a future investor who might have Cincinnati on your mind. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in Cincinnati, Ohio, or any of the suburbs around Cincinnati, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to help you with that. Interested in more cool videos on what it's like living in Cincinnati, Ohio? Then check out these videos right over here. I'll see you in the next video, and remember, when it comes to houses in Cincinnati, you can always call Vic.